and all that good stuff. My name is Allie, I am the Chaotic Reader, and this is where I talk about book things. So today I'm going to do the mid-year book freak out tag. This is the first video that I am filming in quite a while. Really? You have so much to say over there. Goodness. You'll probably hear Archer the whole video. He is in his pack and play over there and apparently very talkative at the moment. And he loves to yell. So if you hear him yelling, I'm sorry. This is what happens when you're a mom, okay? As you can see, we are in a different spot than usual. We're just in my bedroom for the moment. It's super hot in here, so if I just start like sweating everywhere, you know, that's why. My office library space that's upstairs is kind of a mess right now. There's just kind of books everywhere. I really need to redo the shelves. I really need to get another bookshelf, but right now it's a mess. So I figured we're just gonna film here. Did you fall over? You were sitting and now you're not. Figure we would just film here and it'll be fine. Yeah. The best book you read in 2020, and for that I had to pick A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole. Unfortunately, this is a gross mass market paperback, but that was the only physical editions I could get of these. I hate it. And for some reason I can't ever keep them nice. Like the curled corners and broken spine, and I can't read mass market paperbacks without just destroying them. I don't know if it's just that my hatred for them like seeps in whilst I'm reading them or what, but they always end up kind of beat up more than any of my other books, and I feel so bad for it. I feel bad for this poor book right now. I don't know what happened to the cover. Normally I'm nice to my books, I promise. But anyway, this I was gonna say some words. But anyway, I got this as a recommendation from Zoe over at Zoe's All Booked? Pretty sure it's Zoe's All Booked. Maybe. Used to be something else. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I will link it down below. But she did dramatic readings of these in her June TBR, I think? May TBR? What? A TBR. She did dramatic readings of the synopsis, and I needed it. And so I got it, and I read it, and it was absolutely fucking fantastic. And now I need to read the rest of her books. And I do have a couple of them already that I ordered, but this one was just, it was so good. It gave me all the feelings, and it was a really good romance because yeah, the focus was on the romance, but there was a lot of character development and self-discovery throughout that I really appreciated as well. So it was a 5-star read. It's so good. Please read it. The next question is the best sequel you've read so far this year, and that would definitely have to be The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. I just read this recently for Queer Blackathon. I didn't finish it in those 48 hours, but it did only take me 3 days to finish, which for a adult fantasy is actually pretty good. I mean, it's not all that long. It's only like 400 pages, which isn't super long for an adult fantasy, but it's very intricate and in-depth, so I didn't expect it to feel like such a quick read, but it was, and I really loved it, and it's definitely the best sequel I have read so far this year, and now I really need to pick up the last one, but I'm really bad about finishing series, so who knows. Moving on. A new release you haven't read yet, but need to. Definitely this one. I bought this one when it came out and I was all like, I'm gonna read it right away. And then, I don't know, haven't read it yet. I think it might just be because she's a chunker. 800-page book. Which, I read so many long books all the time that I don't know why there are others that I then put off. I don't know. But I haven't gotten to this yet. I will get to it this year because it's Sarah J. Maas and I adore Sarah J. Maas. Anyway, moving on again. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have a few. I just picked the few that I thought of off the top of my head because there's actually a lot. But the few that I thought of is Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas, which I believe comes out in September. And then Alyssa Cole has 2 new books coming out. One in September and one in December. One is a Royals romance. It's not part of the same series that I was reading, but her writing more royals, I'm all for it. So I need to read that one. And then she's also writing a thriller, which I'm really excited to read. Biggest disappointments this year. I didn't really have anything that was super disappointing. There were some books that I didn't love, but they were also books I didn't go into expecting to love. But if we're going with the book that I just thought was the dumbest, let's just say Everyone Knows How Much I Love You by Kyle McCarthy. This book was just so boring. Nothing happened in this entire book. I kept expecting there to be some payoff at some point for all the boring, random crap I was reading about these two women, but nothing happened. Really, just nothing happened. It was a whole lot of nothing, and I don't recommend reading this. Biggest surprise of the year, I decided to go with Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. Now, I did expect to like this because I did like the first two, but I was hesitant going into it because I kept hearing people say, oh, this one wasn't that good. I didn't get what I wanted out of this one. I don't know what everyone was talking about. I loved this. I thought it was so good. I got exactly what I wanted out of this. It gave me everything I had been wanting more of in the first two books. It was so good. So I don't know what everyone was on about, but I thought this was a fantastic end to the series, and I was surprised that I liked it that much. Favorite new author, debut, or new to you? And I'm gonna have to go with Alyssa Cole. Okay, technically this is the only book I've read by her so far, but it led me to buy like 3 more of her books. And I want to read all of her books. And I'm really excited for her new releases, and I'm obsessed with her writing. So Alyssa Cole, hands down, favorite new author of the year. Newest fictional crush. I don't really have one at the moment. None of the books I read this year did I really get a fictional crush in. There were a lot of characters I liked, but nothing new. There were series that I continued that I still really liked and kind of had a crush on some of the old characters from, but nothing new, so I guess just kind of skip this question. Newest favorite character. I actually have 2 for this. Actually, there's a whole bunch. There's so many characters that I got really invested in this year, but there are 2 that I'm going to pick, and the first one is Fitz Chivalry from the Farseer trilogy. I am only on the 2nd book in this trilogy, but he's just so great. You watch him grow and go through so many challenges, and I've just gotten so attached to him that I can't. Every time I'm reading these books, I'm just like, my boy, he never gets a break, ever. Just so many things happen. You think maybe he'll finally have some happiness, and then he just gets beaten down again. It's so hard to read sometimes, but he is definitely a new favorite character of mine. And also, another big-ass fantasy, I read Mistborn, or well, this should be The Final Empire. I don't know why the US edition or whatever got renamed, but it's the Mistborn trilogy, and the first book is The Final Empire. Kelsier was definitely, he might almost be a new fictional crush, because I loved him so much. Just, he was fantastic. He was part of the reason that I was absolutely loving this book, is I just loved reading about Kelsier. Yeah. Let's move on to the next question. I'm just going to keep holding up this book. A book that made you cry. If you know, you know. That's all I can say. Like, the book itself wasn't necessarily, I guess, a sad book, but there was a point in the last quarter of the book that I just wanted to be done with everything. All of it. The whole book. But I did finish reading the book, and I will continue the series, but I cried a little bit. A book that made you happy. We're gonna go with another book that I just finished because I kept smiling while I was reading it, and that is More Than Just a Pretty Face by Saeed M. Masood. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If not, I apologize. But this book was so good. It's not out yet. I had an ARC copy from NetGalley, but I believe it comes out in September, maybe August. I think it's August that it comes out. It's so good. It made me so happy. The main character is so fun to follow, and it's just so good. Please read it. It's such a good time. I don't normally really love YA contemporaries. I do enjoy reading them to kind of break up some of the other stuff I read, but this book was just, it was so good. And there was so much character development and so many good topics that were talked about. And it really dives into what it means to be a Muslim, what kind of different things that can mean for young people who are Muslim, and just, it did so in a way that didn't make it hard to read. It wasn't too dark or intense. I think there's a different word I'm going for, but I can't brain right now. I would definitely recommend it. Most beautiful book you have bought or received this year. We Unleash the Merciless Storm by Taylor K. Mejia. Part of the reason I bought this book is I needed to have these two in matching hardcovers on my shelves. This is the sequel to a duology, the first of which is We Set the Dark on Fire, which was a fantastic, fantastic book. One of my favorites of last year. And this is another one that I bought the sequel and still haven't read it, so I haven't read this yet. But it is definitely the most beautiful book that I have gotten this year. What are you doing, Bubby? Oh, you want Uppy? Okay. Alright. Alright, we wanted Uppy, so here's Archer for everyone. Yeah. You say hi? Close enough. Yeah? You're not, no, we're not gonna grab Mommy's jewelry. I should know better than to wear jewelry when you're around. The last question is, which books do you need to read before the end of the year? There's a lot, but I'm just gonna name off a few. There is all of the Alyssa Cole books, basically any of those. I want to read more of her before the end of the year, and I did pick up a couple more of her books, so I definitely want to finish The Reluctant Royals. There's 3 books, and I think a couple novellas, and I want to finish those. I have Duke by Default, which is the next one, and then A Princess on Paper, I think, are the ones that I have right now that I need to read. There's also so many series I need to continue, and I want to make it a priority to actually do so because I have a horrible habit of not. I have a bunch of series that I just need to read the last. Really? My goodness. Yeah, I know, yelling is your favorite. I have a bunch of series that I just need to read the last book in the series, so I'd really like to finish off all of those series before the end of the year, because I know I'm still going to start new series. There's no way that that's not going to happen, so I'd like to also finish some series. So that was the mid-year book freakout tag. There is a little more that I want to talk about before ending the video, just some sort of life updates, channel updates, things. This is the first video that I will have posted in probably almost a month now, and I'm sorry for that. It's been a month. I don't really want to get into it, but just between migraines and chronic fatigue and teeth issues and life stuff, it just wasn't happening, and I decided that just taking a break and focusing on really enjoying reading and feeling better, hopefully, would help, and kind of thinking about how I want to be able to make consistent content moving forward. The plan for the channel is to upload at least 1 video a week. Some weeks you'll get more, but you'll always get 1 video a week from me. I also want to start vlogging. So next month I have some plans to vlog. I think I'm going to start with vlogging Becca's Bookoplathon so that I can kind of get a feel for it, because that's a 48-hour readathon, and so rather than starting with a week-long vlog. Are you trying to eat me? You are, aren't you? You're trying to eat me. I'm not edible. I'm sorry. But instead of going with a week-long vlog, I can kind of start the 48 hours and see how it goes. You will get content from me. It will be a good time. It will be a chaotic mess as always, but that's on brand, so we live for it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to talking to you more in the future.